What's going on, everyone? Austin John Plays here, and today I'm going to be using some of the things that we've talked about and we've learned about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for how you can shiny hunt pretty much every Pokemon, and in my opinion, one of the most fun ways to do it. Just a small follow-up to yesterday's video about all the new sandwich recipes. Some of the burgers aren't working right now or require certain herbs. I don't have a lot of information on that. I pinned a comment. More stuff needs to be done. For now, just use the ones that I came up with or the ones that Papa Hefe came up with. Now that we know about those various recipes, if you want to play solo or if you have another person that you could play with that you can cook recipes and not actually consume your Herba Mystica, there are many ways that you can go and just hunt any Pokemon you want. And if you picked up on that theme in my Paradox Pokemon video, it gets even better. With how Pokemon are generated in this game, typically in one specific area, you're gonna have a variety of Pokemon showing up. However, there's going to be sometimes some outliers. For example, here in the mountains, you're probably gonna notice that you're gonna have a whole bunch of Pyroars and Litleos, but they are the only fire Pokemon found in this area, as opposed to Ice-type Pokemon that are readily available. I've tested this already, and it's actually a really fun hunt to do that you could do at any point in the game, but the more you progress in the game, and if you have sparkling sandwiches, then you get better results. A great example, and one of the first hunts that I did to test this, would be here at the Sakurut Trail. And here, you're gonna find all the Toedscool and Toedscruel, which are ground and poison type. They are the only ground type Pokemon that are gonna be spawning here. So, you have a couple of options. I'm gonna be turning autosaves off. By the way, when you leave the options screen, make sure you actually confirm, because if you do this and then hit B, and then hit B, you're gonna leave the screen, but it's not going to save the changes. That's actually a problem a lot of people are making here, but when you hit B, you then have to select A. Anyways, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put down a hard save, and let's open up a picnic. By the way, shout out to Past Austin on totally calling that sandwiches are gonna be super important in this game. And the core basis of this is just influencing the Pokemon here, but before you do that, you take notice of how many different types of Pokemon of that specific typing are in the area. Since Toedscruel is the only ground type here, you could use a level 1 Jambon and get Encounter Power Ground 1. I would say like a third of all the wild spawns will be ground type, which is only Toedscool and Toedscruel. But you can use the Ultra Zesty Sandwich that takes 1 Herba Mystica and get Encounter Power Ground level 2. And since I have all 147 recipes collected, those are the only 2 that are going to provide ground without you knowing, the secret recipes that we've been talking about that also give you sparkling power plus encounter. But using encounter power, I was able to go around with my shiny charm and just find a Toedscool. This is not sparkling power, this is not encounter power level 3, so there were some things spawning that weren't Toedscool and Toedscruel, but much lower bar for entry. Keep in mind, if you don't have the shiny charm and you're doing this, you are just going to be at base odds 1 out of 4,096. But since everything on the screen is just going to be that one species or one line of Pokemon, or most things are, it's going to make it pretty much in your favor. I personally have been keeping a constantly updating list of all the Pokemon of their final forms and their regional variants, and which games that they are going to be available in ever since Sword and Shield. I should probably add Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, although that's just Kanto. Now that I have it all updated for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, by the way, I do plan on releasing these sheets once they're finally done and everything, once the hype dies down and I actually have time to organize boxes, work on a living dex, make sure all the code works. I have no problem releasing these, but for now, I'm not quite there yet, okay? I plan on releasing these, but I want them to be flawless. Know what I mean? It's not just raw data dumped into something. There's things looking up things and stuff. I constantly use this to go through the different games and I see, okay, well, I need Muck, and obviously I could go to Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and I could use the Poke Radar, which is horrible ever since the update. Actually, I need a Pyroar because he hasn't been available in the last 3 games, so let's do a Pyroar hunt. Pyroar lives in many parts of Paldea, and I'm pretty sure right here, which I'm pretty sure this is where I started the video, this would be a good area to go look because I think he's gonna be the only fire type. in this large area of grass. Now I'm going to once again make sure autosaves are off. I'm not connected to the internet. I'm gonna put down a hard save. I'm now kind of in the mentality that yes, while I can just turn on my other Switch that has 2 of every Herba Mystica, I kind of like the whole idea that I'm gonna put down a picnic, and if in a half hour I don't get it and I did use rare items for this dish, then I just restart, and if I do encounter the shiny that I want, I have spent the appropriate materials. Know what I mean? So looking up my simple salt, sparkling, and encounter recipe, that's basil, salt, and sweet. I have 7 spicy. Let's use those away. Let's do Hefe's multi-herb shiny sandwiches, which is gonna be 1 onion, 2 red pepper, 1 yellow, 1 green, a prosciutto, and any 2 Herba Mystica. So let's go for this one. And that's gonna give us the encounter and the sparkling that we want for fire. Perfect. So I think the only fire types here is gonna be that Pyroar. And if it is, we should be good. Also, definitely gonna look up a picture of what shiny Pyroar looks like. It's just kind of goldeny. All right. Oh, we have a lot of Fletchling and Fletchender showing up. Well, let's keep going until we find an area that's going to have Pyroar, but not Fletchling. Now with encounter 3, if you're seeing Pokemon that are not that type, that means that there are no fire types in that area, and you need to go someplace else. Found it. I remembered right outside of the Dalazapa passage, I think that's what it's called. Essentially, I'm just making a line. I'm able to spawn in a whole bunch of them as long as I'm not getting too close to the grass. If I get too close to the grass, that's when I'm gonna get those Fletchling in. So I'm just gonna go to one side, I'm gonna look at all these Pyroars, I'm gonna move to the other side. Or a Litleo. Now I've learned that the more detailed the Pokemon, the closer you have to get in order to see its full poly form. So see how they're still very blocky, and then it's, oh! Pfft, done. Done. How long did that take? How long did that take? 4 minutes. I'm glad I went to go explain how the low poly thing works. If you're really far away for Pokemon that have a lot of polygons to them, then when you're further away, it'll be very low resolution. And because of that, sometimes it's easier to see color differences. In this case, the fact that its whole outline was white instead of dark, kind of a giveaway. Premier Ball for the win, please. Give me that crit. Thank you. So, yeah, I got like 24 minutes left on this boost. If you didn't know, if you just hit the home button, and then you could go do stuff. I have to take clothes out of the dryer and fold those clothes. And then I'm gonna come back and record more. And by having it on home, it's going to suspend that. It will not suspend Terra Raid Den, but it will suspend food power. I'll be back, I have to go do laundry. Great, just like Walter White's car wash, my clothes are now laundered. So I have 24 minutes left and, oh, I'm inside of a lion. That's dangerous. I referenced back and I only need 1 other fire type Pokemon from this entire game from previous generations, and that's Camerupt, who's number 152. He is actually not too far from where I am this second. Let's take a look at where that is on the map and hopefully find an area that's not too grassy. I actually don't remember if there's any other fire types that spawn here, but I'm pretty sure the game is gonna let me know real fast. Oh, also, definitely gonna save the game because, you know, I got my shiny Pokemon, so those herbs that I used were definitely worth it. Oh, this is where all the Arcanines be. Forgot about that. Let's go ahead and check these mountains. Whole heap of Scovillain over here. Wow, I have never seen them this plentiful before. You know where I could go? I know exactly where I can go. I can go to Area 0, and the place that I normally find Iron Thorns. In Scarlet, you find Sandy Shocks. And that rock wall, I just did the Iron Thorns hunt last night, and I got it in like 10, 15 minutes. It wasn't bad at all. But using this method of encounter power in isolated types, I got it. I got it. All right, can I coin a phrase? Can I do it? I'm gonna call it the isolated encounter method. Okay, let's see if that sticks. Isolated encounter method. Because I'm gonna have all the Volcarona and I'm probably gonna have the old bug show up. But here, yep, guaranteed Camerupt showing. There we go. There we go. I just paused. I'm at 14 minutes so far, and I've gotten 2 shiny fire type Pokemon. That was a horrible, horrible encounter. No, I need a much better one for a thumbnail. Come on. 3rd time's a charm. Zoom out a little bit. He's just so big that his stars don't show up very well. Nice, critical capture on the first throw. Thank you. So I spent the next 14 minutes looking for a Char Cadet, and I didn't get one, and we're just gonna move on with the video and save you 14 minutes of watching this. The fact that I was able to find those 2 in the first, what, 15 minutes? This is a fantastic method. This is going to be the primary method in which I'm going to be shiny hunting Pokemon. I think it's the most fun. Honestly, while I enjoyed the mass outbreaks in this game, I feel like the pool of Pokemon that it could be is so limited, I just don't do them anymore. And if it is a Pokemon that I want, how many of those Pokemon actually show up in that mass outbreak doesn't really make it worth my time. You can do a mass outbreak for an hour or 2 hours and maybe find that one Pokemon. Meanwhile, if I wanted to, I could go make a ground type encounter, go here, and I don't know if there's any other ground types that spawn there other than just that Wooper. Actually, does Cerebee's interactive map tell me? Here we go. That's the method. Use the Cerebee interactive map, find one of the points in which the Pokemon shows up, look at everything else here. Wooper is poison and ground. Are there any other ground types here? Barboach, but that would be in the water. It's literally the only ground type. Oh, Toad's cool, but he's in the grass and forest, not in the swamp. I tried doing a Wooper outbreak and that wasn't fun because it was on like a little tiny ledge near the first area. But you know what? Just for testing, let's go do this. Thank you, Second Switch, for providing some, what just looks like mold on my bread. Nice, it did work. Cool. Okay, with encounter power ground, I think if I come in here, Woopers are gonna be the only thing I see. Let's see if we can find one in a half hour. Oh, by the way, happy Cyber Monday. Okay, so both of them look a lot purplier. So I should be able to see it from far away. Wait, hang on. I saw something that was weird colored. Is that a regular Wooper? Oh, no, that's what the shiny looks like. I didn't realize it would look so much like a regular Wooper. I was like, is that original form Wooper? Nope, that's the shiny. Okay, where are we on time? 4 minutes. Do you need more proof that this is significantly better of a hunting method? I didn't realize he'd be original colored. That's so neat. It's like what they did with the Galarian Cantonian birds, right? Turn 1 crit. Nice, thank you, game. See, the game's on my side now. Now's that awkward point where I'm like, okay, what ground type Pokemon do I want to go for with the rest of my 26 minutes? So using Cerebee's interactive map, I think I found a location. This Pokeball right here is going to have Donphan and Phanpy. Yeah, desert, mountain, and lake. Mountain and rock. And then I want to look for any other ground types that may be showing up here, which I know I saw Silicobra, and it's desert and mine. Which now means that if I exclude desert and mine from where these guys are, right around here, between mountain and lake, I should be able to exclusively find Donphan and Phanpy. Or what I call it, isolated encounter. Isolated encounter. I should be able to have an isolated encounter of Donphan and Phanpy. That's what I wanted to say. We have to coin it, we have to use it. If I don't use it, no one's gonna use it. Okay, well that's promising. Come on, how are you gonna look at this and be like, no, this isn't an amazing hunting method? So I looked up that Donphan was very easy to see if it's shiny from far away, but Phanpy is just going to be a very slightly different color. So because of that, I need to go and inspect the groups. And I'm not really too sure what I'm looking for in a Phanpy, but I did a picnic timer, and the picnic timer was about 16 and a half seconds for all of them to spawn in and to be visible. My only issue is I can't see the Phanpy from far away, so that 16 and a half seconds doesn't include me going over and having a look at them. I can despawn all 3 groups of Donphan and Phanpy in about 9 seconds. So by just doing drive-bys like this and inspecting them, on average, I'm seeing more per half hour. And that's the important part here. This is a numbers game. How many can you spawn in and how many can you check? Oh, my clock just dinged. It doesn't do that very often, except for like right now during release time, which happens every time YouTube says you got 10,000 new subscribers. So we're now at 2.1. If you're watching my Pokemon Scarlet and Violet content, thank you for that. I'll make you a deal. If you've seen 3 videos for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet from me, hit the subscribe button. It's not gonna make any difference to you how much I show up, but for me, it lets me know that I'm doing a good job. So if you choose to do that, then thank you. Back for these Fampy. How much time do I have left? Okay, I still have 17 minutes. I'm doing all right. Is he a different color or is that the shade from the tree? Oh, it was the shade from the tree. Okay. You know, that harsh moonlight shade. Is that one brighter? I think that one is brighter. That one is definitely brighter. There we go. What's our timer at? 15 minutes. That's about 1 shiny every 7.5 minutes. Guys, it's the best. Oh, he's gonna endure the spore. Good job there, little guy. Critical capture. Always coming in clutch. Saving you about 15 more minutes of footage. I looked for a Doug Trio using the same method with the Cerebi map. I didn't find a Doug Trio. I decided to give up for that and look for a Mudbray. I didn't find a Mudbray, and then my time ran out. Unfortunately, over this last hour, I only got 4 shiny Pokemon that I needed. Not, 6. So I still think that's a W. With preparation on an area that you want to go, these sandwiches, then compounded more if you're doing encounter 3 over encounter 2 or encounter 1, and then compounded more if you're doing sparkling power, and then compounded more if you have the shiny charm, you get results like this. And I know that you've tried doing a mass outbreak for over an hour, and now you're looking at this over 1 hour, and it's like, why do mass outbreaks anymore? Know what I mean? Well, great. Guys, I hope you found this information helpful, and I hope that this method of isolated encounters is going to be fruitful for you and your shiny decks. If you found this information helpful, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. Until next time, Austin John out.
Man, they see me shining like I got the charm. Stay strapped, got that jet ball in my palm. Fell from the sky, guess I'm the chosen one. And if you need to know how, check out Austin John. Champion flow, yeah, I got that champion flow.